The evolution of Kitchener and Waterloo is similar to that of many cities, characterized by periods of investment and prosperity, followed by periods of disinvestment and hardship. Currently, Kitchener-Waterloo is experiencing a period of economic growth, to the point where we are now facing issues of gentrification, as the recent implementation of a light rail transit line known as the ION has generated affordability issues in the transit corridor. Since the ION's approval, there has been widespread development in the transit corridor. However, this development is believed to have induced gentrification, or the process of socioeconomic neighborhood change that occurs when an influx of capital and higher income residents move into an area, displacing many of the existing residents and businesses in the process. Our research explores the phenomenon of transit-induced gentrification in Kitchener-Waterloo, as it pertains to economic development and community displacement. The ION was founded on the central goals of improving transit accessibility and reducing sprawl by encouraging compact development in the corridor. As you can see in the images on the screen, the project has been highly successful in attracting development and bringing residents and investment to the corridor. However, this has caused the corridor to become increasingly expensive for people who rely on affordable housing near transit and for small businesses who rely on affordable store frontage. With this in mind, the goal of our project is to provide solutions for maintaining affordability in Kitchener-Waterloo's transit corridor and to share how the ION can be a lesson for affordability in other mid-sized cities considering LRT. Based on our investigation, we found that the key complexity of this issue is balancing the number of stakeholders involved, their diverse interests, and the role that they play in fueling or mitigating gentrification. As you can see from the tug-of-war graphic, on one end are the stakeholders whose main interest with regard to the LRT is economic gain and profitability. This includes developers, investors, real estate agents, and higher income residents. On the other end are those whose main concerns are around affordability and equity, and this includes low-income and homeless residents, small business owners, and community organizations. There are also several stakeholders who play on both sides, including planners, policymakers, and politicians, who have interests and responsibilities with regard to both economic gain and social equity. When examining how other cities have addressed affordability issues around their LRT lines, we found that in order for an intervention to be successful, there must be coordination among all key stakeholders. The image on the slide is from the opening ceremony of the ION, and as you can see, more than a dozen people participated in the ribbon-cutting ceremony, representing the dozens of stakeholder groups involved in the almost decade-long process of LRT implementation. This same integrated approach should be made in Kitchener-Waterloo and other cities when approaching issues of transit-induced gentrification. Using complex system mapping to understand transit-induced gentrification has allowed us to explore the social, economic, and political facets of this issue. It has challenged us in ways we didn't expect and provided us with new perspectives we didn't consider. Most importantly, it helped us shape a solution space for a problem we were researching and exploring abstractly into something more concrete and tangible. Gentrification research often sits at the crossroads between theory and practice, which has led to debate among practitioners and academics regarding potential methods to solve this issue. By using a systems approach, we were able to better blur these lines and more effectively identify the system's feedback loops that were not previously on our radar. This ultimately resulted in the realization that the system itself is not inherently wrong. Kitchener-Waterloo's gentrification issue is not the byproduct of the system. Rather, it is the result of the failures within that system. Despite the region effectively banking land, implementing monitoring programs, and rezoning the corridor proactively, they missed opportunities to engage with marginalized stakeholders and in framing the project goals early on to include affordability and equity, resulting in the issues we are experiencing today. Ultimately, through these lessons, we will continue our research towards the preservation of affordability in the Waterloo region, and we will continue to share the Waterloo experience with others, so cities can maintain affordability more proactively when implementing LRT projects.